If you haven't done it already, please head into my faction in WWE 2k24, enter the locker code GameAwards24 to get 20,000 VC. I went into the pack market and opened up another wolf pack because I'm missing some superstars there as a persona pool, and I was able to get lucky and get Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump! Yes, sir, he's coming home. And this is all thanks to the game being nominated for Best Sports/Racing Game of the Year. Now, before we get into that conversation, I want you guys to take all of this with a grain of salt. All right, this is just my analysis and based on feedback from your comments that I've read. Now, there has been some positive comments, people that are still enjoying the game and not worrying about what's going on in my faction, but there's many others that are saying they're not going to vote for this game to be Best Game of the Year or Sports Game of the Year for that matter, because they just don't think it deserves it. Well, this is what you have to consider. It's going up against F124, EA Sports FC 25, and then there's 3 2K titles in total nominated for this year. NBA 2K25, Topspin 2K25, and of course, WWE 2K24. Now, I'm not just saying this because I pulled Scott Steiner and because I got lucky with my other locker codes that I got most of the wolf pack. I'm saying this because I genuinely mean it. I've absolutely enjoyed playing 2K24, and I think the community is tired because they've put too many hours into the game. These titles have a limited amount of hours that you could really spend and dive into if you're not creating content or uploading content in terms of community creations, right? If you're not making your own arena or your own superstar and trying different things within the creation suite, along with customizing your universe mode constantly, of course it's going to get old and boring fast. There's a lifespan to this game. And this is my analysis, just again, based on what I've seen from the community. In the comment section, it's just more complaining and more of the negative comments, and that's because a lot of people have had their fair share of issues with the title. It's not updated for how they want to use it, or they've had glitches that have plagued the game all year long. For me, one of the biggest things that held this year back was the online servers. I think the online experience has been so bad and has gotten worse each year to the point where it's holding the series back from reaching its greatness. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't had my fun. I've managed to find ways to enjoy the game with each DLC drop, even the bad ones, because they've added new weapons, they've added at least one superstar that I've cared about, and I do think this year's Season Pass was the best that we've seen in the series. I'm not here to convince you to enjoy 2K24, I'm not here to tell you to buy 2K25, I'm not paid by these guys, they don't know me, they don't care about what I have to say just yet, because I'm not popular enough, and that's fine, I don't care about that. I'm just coming on here to really sit down and get down to the nitty-gritty with you guys, because I don't think that all the hate this game has gotten is deserved. Now, the complaints and certain things that I see people comment are justified and well-deserved, but to the extent of saying that this game is not capable of beating these other sports titles that I've mentioned for Sports Game of the Year, I think it's crazy, because all these other titles come out yearly except for Topspin. Topspin just came back this year, but out of all the yearly titles that it's up against, I think WWE is one of the brighter ones to jump into and enjoy. Now, if you have surpassed those played hours and you're deep into the freaking game, I could see why, come November, December, you're looking at WWE 2K24 as just expired content. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could jump into 2K25 in a couple months. That's the beauty of it. Or you can go and play other games that have come out throughout the year that you might have missed out on. And I think that's what the community is not realizing. That they're playing a game so much that they have exhausted all its resources and they're just ready for the new one. And if you've played endless hours and spent endless hours creating and enjoying stuff you've downloaded from the community creations, then you've enjoyed the game and gotten your money's worth. If you spent 5 to 10 hours and you turned it off and said this game is trash, then I believe you. You just didn't enjoy it at all. But a lot of people complaining have told me that they've spent so much time on this game. And even with the deleted content or the content issues that they've had with the downloaded stuff, at the end of the day, there was so much time spent that I just don't see how you can be on a game, right, to try to get entertained and be so miserable. This year's presentation was second to none. The graphics were beautiful. It's been just an all-out fun experience overall for me personally. That doesn't mean that it's all sunshine and rainbows, guys. It's not one extreme or the other. And that's the thing, that in the last couple videos, I've been bashing the game for its My Faction content, and people have been commenting, oh yeah, I don't play My Faction. This is trash. Yeah, you guys are fools. You guys are, all you do is complain and whine. And I'm like, yo, hold on. This is like one video out of a bunch that I've uploaded throughout the year. I've enjoyed 2K24 for the most part. I've had my fun with it, you know, throughout the year. I take my breaks when needed. I have about 8 to 10 days worth of playing time, but that's nothing compared to some of the friends I have on my list, which are some of the same people that are telling me that the game is dead. And I'm like, no shit, the game is dead. You have exhausted all its resources and all that they created for you to enjoy through the time that you've played it. And that's when you just gotta lace up the boots and hang them up, man. Throw them over and just hang them up in the air and just wait for 2K25 to come on sale. Or, you know, don't play it at all. Just take a break for a while. That's probably the best I can recommend in terms of how to solve your issues. That doesn't mean that you're blindfolding yourself to the point where you don't see the issues that it has. Because my goodness, yes, Universe, they haven't shown a lot of love to that. Yes, the game could use a little bit more updates when it comes to the online servers and My Faction being more balanced and my GM having better ways to create matches versus these traits that are just awful. I get it. There's room to improve, and that's why it's good that we get this game yearly, right? And that we get to buy and enjoy a new experience when they tinker and alter some of the things we've been voicing. But if all we do is join, right, the community in YouTube, Twitter, or whatever your preferred social media platform is, to cry and complain every single time, imagine how miserable are you guys, man, that you were coming on here just to share your displeasure and comment and rag on people that are actually enjoying the game for what it is. So that's really my viewing point for why this game could win Sports Game of the Year. I mentioned it 2 videos ago, and people were like, no way, this is trash. No. Yeah, no way. There's just no way this game can win Sports Game of the Year. And I'm like, guys, look at what it's going up against. Like, this is one of the better NBA games that I've played in recent memory. You know, FC looks great. F1 looks great. All these games graphically look great. And WWE is up there with them. In terms of gameplay, yes, we don't have chain wrestling. We're missing this, that, or the other. The submission system is trash. I know that it could use a facelift in certain areas more than others to make the best wrestling game ever, because I don't think we're too far off. Now that we're this deep into this year's game and we've gotten all the DLC and the bonus updates, even though I don't like the My Faction money spending cash grab mode, I still see potential in that, right? I see how they could fix Universe without really breaking the bank. I see how my GM is close to being great, and how my career has been fun, even though they got kind of complacent. Let's be real, 2K22, they did a nice job with that one, but they haven't really improved in that My Faction, not My Faction, but rather My Career experience, to the point where it could, you know, show us, the community, that they're spending, you know, as much time as they are in My Faction. Because if you look at My Faction, the marketing for it is crazy. Not just are they giving us logger codes for VC to spend and rip packs and these free cards, they're finding ways to engage with the community to get us to try it out. They're that desperate to get us to try it out. But if they were to spend just half of that energy into a My Career mode, perhaps allowing us to do things that we've wanted to do for years again, which is like walk backstage, interact backstage behind the scenes, I think we could see something very special beyond what we've gotten. Now, when the game dropped, right, 2K24, 23, 22, people always ask me, well, what do you think? And I always say time will tell. Right now it feels like a 9, could feel like a 10. And that's, a mixture of getting something new, enjoying it to the max, spending endless hours in it, but it's not a 10. And I could face that music now and realize that it's definitely not a 10, but it's not lower than an 8, right? If you look at this game for me, from my point of view, it's not lower than an 8. Weapons added through the year, arenas added through the year, right? Fine-tuned with updates through the year, new gimmicks added through the year. These are all things that we were able to experience on a higher scale that we might have not seen in the past. And let's remember how bad and awful, visually and glitchy and gameplay wise 2K20 was. Man, that was terrible. It was a change, right? 2K had just taken over the series. They were struggling to put that game together. We remember what a shitstorm that was. This game is light years ahead. Now, a lot of people like to reference 2K19 as the greatest of all time, or at least of this generation. Some people like to mention SVR. It just depends which one got you into the series and which one really resonated with you overall. For me, I'm old school, man. I've been playing since like N64 days with the AKI engine, which we got UPW making its way to the series, or should I say to the genre in the near future. And I'm hopeful for Wrestling Code and UPW, Ultra Pro Wrestling. I know these games are going to be fun for what they're trying to create for us. But at the end of the day, man, that doesn't mean that 2K24 and these other titles are bad. It's just how I feel. And I know I've gone on a nice little run here praising and I guess being a little too positive and optimistic. When you guys are tired of hearing it, you might have clicked away, or if you're still here, thank you for sticking around. But all I'm trying to say is that if you're burned out, if you're tired, if you're worn out, you might have reached the end of the line for this year's game. And there's absolutely nothing, I mean nothing wrong with that. Back then, when I used to trade in games, when I got to this point, I would probably just go into GameStop, trade it in, buy a new game, and, sayonara, peace out. I'll see you down the road. And then 2K25 would come out. I'd be in a much better, space mentally to enjoy it and embrace it, because I wasn't playing 2K24 till the day before. And a lot of people have been doing that lately because you buy the games digital, it's there, you're a huge wrestling fan, every time there's a big show you want to jump on and create those moments. You could still do that. But just, try to find ways to enjoy the game. That's all I really wanted to say. Find ways to enjoy instead of complaining over and over. One of the best pieces of advice that someone in here in the comment section gave me was, if you're having issues, right, downloading created content because you're maxed out and your game is bugging out, create another account. It's free. Use another email, right? And if you game share within those accounts, or if you have the game on disc, even better, because you have another set of community creations, right, downloads that you can utilize without hurting your saved file overall. So that might be something that may work for you. But again, thinking about the best sports game available in this category, WWE is up there, in my opinion. So I don't want to ramble too long. I feel like I went, beyond what I was thinking, which was maybe around the 10-minute marker. But I really wanted to just kind of have that discussion on a conversation level, because I'm usually coming on here high energy, and it's like one way or the other depending on how I feel with whatever I'm trying to review. But today I'm just more in the middle, leaning in more into the positive stuff, because the way that I've approached the game after a certain amount of hours have just been, all great for me. All things considered, obviously. I do still want to play online. It still bothers me that I can't play online. It bothers me that my faction is not what it could be for me to enjoy. But everything else that I have been doing, it's a way for me to disconnect from the real world and enjoy gaming within the wrestling genre. When I want to play another game, I definitely play another game. And I'll leave this for you guys to consider. When you play a great game like Elden Ring that takes about 100 hours to beat, you beat it, you're done with it. If they release an expansion, you spend another X amount of hours on it, but you beat it and you're done with it. Unless you want to do it again with a different character, sure, you can. Rinse and repeat at that point, right? But you spent at least 100 hours in there. I know a lot of people that have spent a lot more than 100 hours on WWE, and they still want to tell me that the game is awful and that the game is trash and that they're not having fun. Dude, you had to have had fun at some point with all those hours spent, even if it was just in the menus, downloading, creating, and putting together a universe that you were, trying to play and get into. That's it. All right? So that's all, guys. Literally. We'll be back with some more WWE 2K. We'll be back with some more wrestling. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.
LexxExpress is calling, shaping every view. Subscribe and join the legend, let's see what you'll do.
Every comment's welcome, every like's a cheer. Your opinions light the way, there's nothing you should fear.
Share your thoughts and insights, let your voices grow. With Lexx by your side, the universe will glow. Hit that button, oh so bright, in this digital night. LexxExpress is here to guide us with an epic light. Comment, share, and let it out in the world so vast. Be a part of something stronger.